So what you're looking at is it's a tube amplifier that I took apart from an old console years ago. It's from a 1962 Magnavox. I think the part number off of that chassis, this amplifier, is a 9302-00. Well, anyways, I pulled it apart, and this is what I've done to it. Just to let you know, let me show you around. Let me pick it up, and it's very heavy. This is the bottom, with the bottom plate to it. This is the back. Your off and on switch, fuse, power, speaker connections. And let me just give you a little quick rundown of what I've done to it. So it has RCA inputs, your left volume control, your right volume control, and it uses for the your first stage drivers is a 12AT7, 12XT7, sorry, 12XT7. And I have here a 6BQ5, and I'm using this as a shunt regulator to regulate these two. Instead of having a big old choke, I'm using this circuit. It's a shunt regulator that I've researched, and I love how it sounds. It's a push-pull design. Here I have this switch right here. This is for negative feedback. No negative feedback. Oops. And these inputs right here, this is for measuring the bias off each individual tube, so you can match all your tubes. And right here, what we have here is you put your meter. Let me show you real quick how I do it. I use my trusty heat kit. Negative to green, and then I have your positive, and I set this to the far left, turn it on, and I can measure the voltage across that. Once I measure the voltage across that, I think there's a 1 ohm resistor, and just do the math, and you can measure your milliamps across each tube. So I have all these matched to, I think I have it set at 27 milliamps across each one. So each one has its own individual drop-in resistor or bias resistor. And what else? I think this is a 10 Henry choke, 8 or 10 Henry choke. You have your 5U4 rectifier tube, full wave. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I put some handles on the side, and I put a very heavy duty plate underneath. And if you notice what these are from, these are old door handles from a kitchen. So those are the feet. Very simple, very basic. And these are my speakers. They're Realistic Solo 103s. Now I had this tube amplifier playing at the bar where I work at, and it sounds wonderful. I mean, it sounds clear, crisp, beautiful vocals, beautiful lows. I think it puts out a whopping 8 or 10 watts. But I mean, it sounds wonderful. It sounds beautiful. So let me take it apart. Let me show you underneath the hood. And a lot of you folks want to see what's underneath, what makes this thing tick, or how I designed it. Oh, by the way, the original Magnavox came with if you can see on the chassis right here. Let me zoom in so you can see. 6EU7. So what I did, I redesigned the circuit to accept a 12XT. What is it? Well, hold on. 12AT7. So my mistake. 12AT7. So that's a 12AT7 driver tubes, and I wired it for that. I don't want to use that tube. I want to use this. For my opinion, a better sounding tube was the 12AT7, and that's pretty much it. If you do a Google search, you can figure out the same layout. So once again, this is my tube amp. I had it for almost 12 years now. Sounds wonderful. Beautiful sound. It plays all day. And here it is. Obviously, when I have it at the shop, I don't have these speakers. I have I have some old vintage Sansui 12-inch speakers. Puts a lot of wattage, a lot of power. I love the sound. We all love the sound at the bar. Everybody compliments. Well, what are you playing? And I have, mind you, I have a record player going to a preamp, and from the preamp to this unit. Oh, and by the way, I almost forgot. It also has a phono jack, and I wired this amp where it accepts headphones. So if you want to listen to this, you can put your headphones. Any off-the-shelf headphones will sound wonderful. So as soon as you plug it in, the output gets turned off. So yeah, that's my amp. Let me flip it over so you can see what's underneath the hood. Okay, give me about a minute so I can take it apart. Oh, I think it's just these 4 screws, 2 screws here, and 2 screws on the other side. That's it. All right, be right back. As you can see, this is a very heavy plate, heavy aluminum plate. So this is the amplifier, and let me talk to you more about the whole circuitry. So what I'm using here, these are my capacitors, my smoothing capacitors, and simple choke. And as you can see, each tube has its own bias resistor, bias capacitor, and that's pretty much very simple. This is a simple choke for the preamp. So let me zoom in so you can see a little bit more. Okay. That's the input for the phono jack. This is the switch for the biasing to match each output tube. And I am running only the 2 drivers on DC. The rest are AC. These 2 drivers, the 12 AT7s, are in DC. Like I said, I've been using this almost for 10 years, and it sounds great. Sounds beautiful. there you go. Like I mentioned, I've done some tweaks and mods on my own. That's the rectifier tube. This is your DC2, these two tubes like I was mentioning. That's it. I mean, the next thing to do is plug it in and let you hear how it sounds, but unfortunately you can't tell the difference on YouTube on the sound quality versus in real life, but I'll play it anyway, so I'll put something on so you can at least hear it, and I'll show you how I do the biasing on each of the match the tubes. All right, that's it. Thanks.